History remembers kings, emperors, and popes as wise leaders. But some of them were absolutely unhinged. From burning cities to putting dead men on trial, these rulers changed the world in the weirdest ways. Welcome to 20 Strangest Rulers in History. Number 20, Emperor Nero. He's known throughout history as the bad guy, the evil overlord that has become synonymous with tyrannical rule. And yet, despite how bad he is, there is no denying how powerful this man once was. The Roman Empire reached its zenith under his rule, but it didn't last long because this ruler also earned the infamous title of being one of the worst. Why? Because when Rome burned down, he was nowhere to be found. And when he did show up, he blamed the Christians for the disaster and then proceeded to sing songs about it while enjoying the view from his country home. Yes, really. Number 19, Caligula. We all know what happens if you make your horse a senator, right? Well, we would hope so. But apparently, Caligula never got that memo. When he became the Roman emperor at the age of 18, he was ready to party. His 5 years of rule were marked by debauchery and insanity, including, but not limited to, holding chariot races with prostitutes on board. After having had too much wine, he unleashed poison gas into the audience at the gladiator games. And he even chained women to chariots like horses. And that's why people called him Caligula, after the chariot horses in ancient Rome. The spoiled brat also declared himself a god and built a temple in his own honor. Yeah, that wasn't very well received by the people. Number 18, Elagabalus. Meet the most craziest Roman emperor you've never heard about, Elagabalus, who took the throne at the age of 18, just like Caligula, and wasted no time in displaying his madness. During his reign, he hosted feasts inviting 8 men of only one type, bald, short, or fat. He chained women to chariots like horses. He was obsessed with dwarfs and women with beards. And the most shocking of all, he shackled the senators to chariots like horses and whipped them as they pulled him around. Number 17, Pope Stephen VI, the Cadaver Synod. Okay, you don't have to be a pope to behave badly. In fact, you can just be a person. To get on this list, Pope Stephen VI took his job a little too seriously, and perhaps that's why he put his dead predecessor on trial for crimes against the church, including simony, nepotism, and alleged heresy. This man was certainly not afraid of speaking the truth. After exhuming the body, he placed it on a throne in St. Peter's Basilica and proceeded to arraign him before an assembly of cardinals and bishops. Not exactly sure what kind of answers the Pope expected from the deceased, but hey, at least he got his story straight. Number 16, Emperor Justin II. Justin II was known to be a great emperor until he bit the attendants. At least that's how the historians described him. There was no explanation as to why he did it other than the fact that he was mad. According to the Procopius's secret history, Justinus was known to have sudden and violent fits of anger where he would bite his slaves and anyone else present. People who were close to him learned to stay away when the emperor was in a bad mood. It was probably not pleasant to be on the receiving end of those chompers, though we can't imagine why someone would need to bite so hard that it would go down in history. Number 15, King Charles VI of France. If you ever hear someone claiming to be made of glass, do not believe them, especially if they are in charge of ruling a nation. Such was the case with King Charles VI of France, who believed he was made of glass and could shatter. That's why he spent most of his time wrapped in protective clothing, believing that if he exposed his skin to air, he would explode. He was right in one thing, though. He did shatter his kingdom. Number 14, Ivan the Terrible. Ivan IV, and last of Russia's great princes of the Rurik dynasty, was the longest reigning monarch in Russian history, but he went down in history for being the first Tsar of Russia to bear the title of the Terrible. He really earned that title, though, when he killed his own son, Ivan Ivanovich, after he found out about his son's relationship with a Polish princess. In a fit of rage, the usually anti-Semitic Ivan started beating his son, eventually kicking him so hard that the boy died. Talk about taking things too far. Number 13. Emperor Bokassa of the Central African Empire. Emperor Bokassa was only in power for a few years, but that was enough time for him to plan and execute the biggest royal wedding in history. Bokassa planned his wedding to his 17-year-old bride for 2 years and invited heads of state from around the world. With a budget of $20 million, which was more than the GDP of the small nation, Bokassa made sure to make an entrance. He rode in on a golden howdah on the back of an elephant with lit candelabras on its tusks. He was crowned on a golden throne carried by 8 men. All the attendees received free gifts of gold coins and diamonds. So yeah, that was one heck of a celebration. Number 12. Queen Ranavalona, the first of Madagascar. Madagascar hasn't been a major player in world politics since the early 1970s, so you may be surprised to learn about the evil deeds committed by one of their former queens, Ranavalona I, who ruled like a god over her people. She had thousands of people executed in 2 separate brutal purges, earning her the name Blood Queen. She was especially fond of burning people alive and reportedly enjoyed watching them scream as they burned to death. According to some reports, she murdered her own husband to take the throne. And when she died in 1866, her successor reinstated slavery, causing more bloodshed. Number 11. Zhu Haozhou, the last monarch of the Ming dynasty. Zhu Haozhou came to power at the age of 21 and immediately started behaving like a god. He turned the Forbidden City into his private zoo, housing thousands of animals inside its grounds. He chained women to chariots like horses. A rare genetic disorder gave him the appearance of female genitalia, and he used this to his advantage, dressing as a woman and prostituting himself. Number 10. Tsar Peter III. Let's talk about Russia's Peter III, a man who loved to play with toy soldiers a little too much. He actually forgot about ruling the nation entirely and instead gathered 40,000 elite troops to engage in mock battles with commoners. This man even held military parades featuring platoons of peasants dressed as hairy barbarians. But the most insane of all was his obsession with draining the marshlands near St. Petersburg and turning it into a new amusement park. Yep, that was his idea of a good time. Number 9. Haile Selassie, the last emperor of Ethiopia. As the Messiah figure, he changed world history forever. He played a key role in the development of Rastafarianism, a movement that began in Jamaica in the 1930s. Rastafarians consider Haile Selassie to be the embodiment of God on earth, and his image is revered throughout the culture. When Selassie ascended to the throne in 1930, he set out to modernize Ethiopia and bring it into the 20th century. He introduced sweeping political, social, and economic reforms, land and tax reform, and the establishment of state-owned enterprises. He also wrote a constitution and established a representative government. But unfortunately, he was overthrown and killed in a coup led by a military junta in 1975. Number 8. Mad King Ludwig II of Bavaria. Sure, the man might have gone a little crazy toward the end of his life, but there's no denying that he brought his best to the job when he ruled Bavaria from 1848 to 1866. He was known to be eccentric, reclusive, and an anxious mess, but he still managed to build Neuschwanstein Castle, one of Germany's most beloved landmarks. Sadly, he also bankrupted the state in the process. Number 7. Roman Emperor Commodus. Commodus was born into wealth and privilege, but it wasn't enough for this narcissistic emperor. He wanted to be a god. That's why when he inherited the vast Roman Empire from his father, Marcus Aurelius, he indulged in gladiatorial combat for sport. He hosted tournaments inviting fighters from around the empire and watched with amusement as they fought to the death. But the most messed up thing he ever did was claim to be the reincarnation of Hercules, a god in Roman mythology. What was that like? Was number 6, King Louis II of Hungary. In 1526, King Louis II of Hungary and Bohemia led his forces into battle against the Ottoman Empire. He was outnumbered 3-1, but that didn't stop the king from charging into battle in full armor. He drowned during the Battle of Mohacs, and his knights followed suit. They were all equipped with armor weighing almost 100 pounds, and perhaps that's why they couldn't swim. Number 5. Lady Jane Grey. Lady Jane Grey will always hold a special place in British history, not because she was an amazing queen, because she wasn't. She's remembered for being the Queen of England for just 9 days. At the age of 17, she ascended to the throne after the abdication of King Edward VI, only to be deposed after a mere 9 days in power. Her statue stands in Westminster Abbey next to that of kings and queens who reigned for decades. Yeah, that was quite awkward. Number 4. Emperor Qin Shi Huang. He is known for uniting China under his rule and establishing it as a major power in Asia. But Qin Shi Huang's achievements were overshadowed by his weird obsession with immortality. He experimented with concoctions made from mercury, ground up rhino horns, and even mummified snakes. In his quest for eternal life, he was so successful that he might have accidentally invented the pacemaker. He was also buried with an entire terracotta army. Number 3. Emperor Aurangzeb. Emperor Aurangzeb was one of India's most powerful rulers, but his legacy was tarnished by his turn to fanatical religious zeal. He turned the Mughal Empire into a religious state, persecuting non-Muslims and seizing their property. His bigoted policies sparked rebellions that lasted for decades, plunging India into darkness. Number 2. Pharaoh Akhenaten. Most pharaohs of Egypt were considered gods on earth. Some were evil and some were benevolent. Akhenaten was neither. He was just weird. He was known for his weird looks, having an unusually shaped head, abnormally long arms, and skinny legs. He also had a severe underbite, but what he lacked in looks, he made up for in confidence. Akhenaten changed Egypt's religion to worship one god, Aten, the sun disk, and moved the empire's capital to Amarna. He ruled from 1353 to 1336 BC, which was a relatively short period of time, but it was enough for him to change Egyptian culture forever. Number 1. Kim Jong-il. North Korea's supreme leader is known to have a bizarre sense of humor. One of his favorite jokes was pretending to be an American journalist. Another was claiming to have invented the hamburger, but that wasn't even close to his greatest accomplishment. In 1994, Jong-il was playing golf at his country retreat and supposedly shot 11 holes in one game. Well, who wouldn't want to be the supreme leader of North Korea after hearing such an amazing story? Power can make people do strange things, and history never forgets. Which of these bizarre rulers shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more weird history every day.